with inflation, or is this that, some of this gets into the wrong hands?
Well, let's say cyber risk is ever present, and the amount of money that we're going to all have to make sure we're protecting, and we give a surety, and we give strength around the value of your digital identity. So all of that that's the foundation of any
Right.
order. And so let's be clear, the amount of time and effort and money to author, authenticating everything is real. And so if there is something that breaks down that authentication, then we have a timeout. The biggest risk we have worldwide today is the world believes we are past the high point in inflation. And I could see real realities of elevated inflation. I know that is not the market forces are saying at the moment, but I could truly see a scenario where we are going to have elevated inflation. We would have a higher 10-year Treasury, and obviously the bond market. That's why I love the capital market. We're going to find that out. The bond market is the ultimate tester every moment in the market of what's happening globally, and so we'll see. But there is not a low probability, I mean, not below 50%, but there is a probability that we could see elevated inflation again, which would be creating an elevated 10-year Treasury, which changes a lot of the conversations.
And this is what, because of an overheating U.S. economy?
That's a possibility. Or, I mean, look, I'm here in Europe, and I've never seen such pessimism. So I'm going to leave. I was the one who's normally pessimistic about it, and I'm actually relatively optimistic now because it's so bad. That's like so I would always go against Davos, and you'll make a lot of money. So. So the pessimism is so tangible about Europe. Yep. It almost feels like it's a nice counter trade.
A good entry point. What about U.S. restrictions on semiconductor technology? Do you expect that to change? This has been an issue, frankly.
Yeah, I think the Biden administration left a very difficult executive order on the desk of Trump, where really we discussed this already, speaking very frankly here, was a gift for another country, to China. Yes. That is, if you do not supply the necessary baseline technology to your allied nations, to your friends, guess who doesn't call? They're going to call somebody else, because people cannot live without AI, without infrastructure. So I think there has to be a balance, what to restrict and what to share, and ultimately work with folks like us to build this global coalition.
And that's the geopolitical issues that I referenced in my opening. It's larger than that's in the ether at the moment.
Peng, are there active conversations that you know of either trying to restrict or, and you're optimistic about the outcome?
I'm very optimistic that the next 4 years will bring a lot of positive changes.
Okay. Well, thank you both for joining us for a good conversation around the world.
Also ask you, how will you even begin to think through the kinds of budgeting questions if we don't know what it is that we're defending in the first place? I've heard a lot already in my conversations, and I've had many, many great conversations with many people gathered here in this room. I've heard a lot about what you need to defend yourselves from, and of course that's important. But what has seemed a little bit less clear to me, and certainly I think to many of the citizens of Europe, is what exactly it is that you're defending yourselves for. What is the positive vision that animates this shared security compact that we all believe is so important? And I believe deeply that there is no security if you are afraid of the voices, the opinions, and the conscience that guide your very own people. Europe faces many challenges. But the crisis this continent faces right now, the crisis I believe we all face together, is one of our own making. If you're running in fear of your own voters, there is nothing America can do for you.
I did a piece some time ago. I titled it The Little Man in Finland. And obviously, I was referring to Simon Ekpa. I think a lot of people are giving him more credit than he deserves. I think he's a general without troops, but I think he is benefiting from the crisis in the Southeast, which to some extent he has also been part of. But the matter of the Southeast has gone beyond even Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa. There are so many other players are involved in the violence in the Southeast, non-state actors. And then recently, we must also not forget, that does not take away from the fact that Simon Ekpa has also been causing a problem from the south in the Southeast, even with his statements, for instance. And you wonder why the Finnish government would continue to tolerate somebody who is within their territory and using social media to create panic and violence in another part of in his own country. And I think he speaks seriously about the responsibility of the Finnish government. But beyond that is the fact that, like I said, there are so many other actors that are active. Recently, in some of the intervention by the military and the police authorities in the Southeast, each time they had some successes in their confrontations with some of these non-state actors. We have also discovered that the people operating in the Southeast, some of them are not Southeasterners. That is not to say that Southeasterners are not involved. So there is something, going on. Not too long ago, and I think it's important, I'm not sure whether the media adequately captured Asari Dokubo's statement the day he went to the presidency and was indicting the Nigerian military as being useless, and that he is the one that has been providing security services for the country. Now we know when Tompolo was given a contract by the federal government to protect the country's pipelines. And of course, people had different opinions about that, whether it was okay or it was not okay. But there was at least a formal announcement to that, to that. We don't know at what point Asari Dokubo was engaged by the government, but what is important is the fact that he stated that he was active militarily in certain parts of the country, defending the Nigerian state. He mentioned Imo State, he mentioned Plateau State, Benue State, Abuja, and other parts of the country. Now, what kind of engagement was he doing? And I think that people, the authorities should look into that, because I know that the police and the army still have the mandate, especially the army when it comes to when the police fail in their duty to protect our territories. The army or the military has that responsibility. So who is financing or having this arrangement where Asari Dokubo and his armed militia are actively involved in violent acts, whether good or bad, in parts of this country? So perhaps, he also has a role to play there. That, like I said, does not excuse Simon Ekpa. And then with regards to Nnamdi Kanu, it went beyond, a judicial issue, If you look at the fact that even at best, even when the courts had made certain statements, given the, for the man to be released, the federal government has never really complied because it went beyond being, a legal issue. They can make it if it is, but it has always been a political issue.
Wala, wassalamu alaikum. I see one eye, one eye, they look. Shout out to you, that one person. Welcome to Honor Politics. We are here again and again. I don't even know where to start. But we are finished as a people. This generation, we would that are alive, Nigerians, doesn't matter where you are on this planet Earth, it is over. We can't do it. We can't do it. We cannot do it for one simple reason. Couple of days ago, a week ago, up to like 2 weeks, the whole media was up in ham about Bola Tinubu not being in Nigeria, going on a working visa in France. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry, they make noise. As if you are an outsider looking in, the kind of rhetoric that is coming from the Nigerian space towards their president, who's on a working visa to the land of the masters. One would think that as soon as the president is touching down, an impeachment motion will move. I mean, the people of the house will get to work and, impeach him. But for where? As soon as the man, God, all these old men, man. As soon as Bola Tinubu they touch down, in fact, before in before it became official from the White House, from the Asu Rock that is going to be arriving the country, their number one agent, David Adeyemi, went to work first. FBI wanted to release Bola Tinubu's drug case. Before you know, the whole media lost it again. What the heck is going on? Less than 24 hours late. That one will be problem again. Now, someone Ekpa is about to be extradited. Now, arrest him in the first place. Well, now, one extradite him. Like, shout out to the medias, man. They are good. They got us by the balls because they know they will know the fees. Our common sense know they work again. It has been sold. I've been a free serve. They don't give them to APC. So all of a sudden, the Bola Tinubu case where their agent even now, we don't forget that na Ekpa. Now una arrest Ekpa in the first place, no. Una say una want una. It's just people I don't just fucking understand. This news, this Samuel Ekpa news that become the order of the day. I wonder what the federal government is doing on that ground. Because that's a conversation for another time. This same man, this news, which they twisted, by the way, just as I put up on screen, was first broken by BBC Pigeon. Now, oh God. It was like this. Now, if you go by BBC Pigeon, how they take phrase the 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 news, it's everything that you need to know. Eto, see my screen don't freeze. Oh my shit, man. Don't be so, don't be waiting. So that news that is on the screen right now by BBC Pigeon hit the airwave a week ago, 7 days ago. Now, how BBC take get that news, if it's a news at all? They find out that Samuel Ekpa, lawyer, old lawyer now, has retired. For that reason, Simon Ekpa decided to get a new lawyer. Of course, the new lawyer have to gather information. They can review the case and say, okay, get a date for court to present to restart the case again. And that afresh. Oh, well, that's what they are trying to do. They want to review the case again. In June, that's it. A new lawyer coming to the question, get hold of the case, decided to do his own review, approach the court, say, okay, court go give, they'll go before court June, present their new finding. Again, 2 weeks will be offered to them for them to come out and make their case. Now, everybody is on trials here. When I mean everybody, excluding Nigerian government, right? Because Nigerian government has no hand in things that is going on. They just won't capitalize on what is going on. Where then they say they ask for extradition. Now arrest them in the first place. Now know why they arrest them. So as soon as they get the news that he was arrested, they begin to ask for extradition. They tell them, no, he's our citizen. It's not just our citizen. It's a very, very important community member, a politician, an elected official. So not be anyhow person. So when people just roll their mouth, you don't use, I just laugh. Ask what is going on. Ask nothing to. That's what I tried to tell Kulata. Shout out to Kulata. That you can conclude all you want. Nigeria has no hand in someone like arrest. So from the fact that the new lawyer coming to the question, guys that become an approach court, and then they say, the way is this Amolekpa. How? But of course, because all of us don't sell our common sense to the media, they can play with it as they like. As I said, a week ago, for a couple of days leading to last 48 hours, the news like was Bola Tinubu, as if Bola Tinubu just come back from his journey, they will eat and raw or they will impeach him. But before Bola Tinubu touched down, what happened? Their number one agent, David Odeyin, went to work. Say, FBI won the Bola Tinubu case. Then the media went to work. Everybody else, they make noise. The man don't come smoothly. Before you begin know all them back away, everybody wait to run their mouths. They forget the drug case day. They don't tell you Nazi Simon Ekpa or they want extradite. Ow! So we are finished. Oh, the question where I am asking myself, I know suppose they can't talk about this thing because the people don't they send me message. Is this true? Is this true? Those when they call, I hear this news. Is this true? I was like, yo. Guy, now so everybody they call lazy rich. Just get to the source. If we heard news, this news, as I said, came out 7 days ago by BBC Hausa. Sahara reporter took it from there. They quoted him. They quoted the BBC. Cable went for that, did the same thing. For all you need to do, just Google the lawyer name now. There's a new lawyer there that they pass hire. From there, you will get to why this news. There was a reason when they got the news 7 days ago, they did not popularize it the way it is going right now. So the question is that what are they covering? What are they trying to cover, right? Because I don't understand. Because instead of people to ask, the $1 billion that was given to Tinubu the day he left Nigeria, how is that money? What is it for? How they want to share them? Nobody care, of course. There's a reason why we no care. Nobody say we no care. It's not important. Someone is more important. Or Tinubu drug lords that has been in the eyes of FBI before half of the people who are making noise now were born. But for some reason, it's still very effective. So when I play the video of J.D. Vance saying that if you people refuse to listen to your own people, there's nothing America can do for you. There's a reason they are saying that. Because they know that even the people, their opinions and view, their choice, it's not them. They are delusional. They are forced upon them by all this misinformation and disinformation. It's just Fucking ridiculous. Let's see. Let's go into the some specifics about this Samuel Ekpa case that oh, nine be Nigerian problem all of a sudden, and nobody is asking question why. So this Samuel, the only thing there is that Samuel Ekpa has gotten a new lawyer. Why? Because the old guy retired. I am not a lawyer. I am not the proceedings of how law works, how lawyer operates. No, really know. But for the common sense, small where I see get, if a new person come into a case or any scenario at all, he will need time to what? Evaluate, reevaluate his own way, apply his own way of doing things, and approach the court and say, okay, this is where I want to start from. I mean, now I could be wrong, but as I say, I am not a lawyer, but common sense says that that's exactly how she should go from a layman point of view. So the only news there is that, and this news now February itself, around February 9, Samuel Ekpa get new lawyer. BBC Hausa get to know about the fact that Ekpa get another lawyer, and they are going to approach the courts in June. Then from there, 2 weeks to start over again. That is the news they got, and they decided to. This was last week, 7 days ago. 9 BBC reporter, Sahara reporters reporter, Cable reporter, Punch reported it. But again, no, you guys are busy. Now the verse say, Bola Tinubu, what is he doing in France? Why is he still in France? As if as soon as the man touched down, now go come out for office. But for some reason, before he come down safe, as I said, number one agent David Day has went to Market Square. Say FBI won't release in drug case, as if. But again, for some reason, now the man don't call now. Everybody forgetting drug case. Everybody forgetting very bad thing known as someone from nowhere. Old news, they resurrected them. The old news has nothing to do with Ekpa being extradited. They cannot extradite Ekpa. Nigeria has government no fee extradite Ekpa. Ekpa is being held as a Finnish citizen. Now their government hold on. And I've been saying this from day one. Nigeria don't know how or why they actually arrest the man. They just hear the news, say someone was arrested, and they decide to start adding their own story. The same thing goes to this news. If you read the news where they break, now only one paragraph or two will talk about how Samuel Ekpa will appear for court and all that. The next thing, now, Samuel Ekpa was arrested so days. It was this, they repeat the same 20 years old story just to make just so for them to have at least a page of something worth reading. Fucking ridiculous. But this case is complex because what people not even understand about this case. If Ekpa is convicted based on what they charge him for, guy, all this noise where people they make for lunch, so they know if they make them again. That's what people don't understand. And that's exactly why even the Finnish government, they are on trials. The international community is waiting. How they go and do this, because it's going to set a precedence around the world. So the trial is scheduled for June in Finland. They not will give a specific day. It's a complex case with significant implication for international law, separatist movement, and Nigerian law, Nigerian Finnish diplomatic relations. So that's what people don't understand, right? When I say Nigerian government no go free extradite that, Finnish government no go, because this is their own case. And how they handle the case is very important, regardless of how the Nigerian government feels. Because this is you are talking about an European members nation. So when the Finnish government arrests them, well, that was November, right? The charges were public incitement of committing a crime with terrorist intent under Finnish law. Has nothing to do with Nigeria. One, the alleged offenses dating back to 2021 center on his social media activities, which Finland claim promoted violence in Nigeria. Has nothing to do with Nigeria. Yes, the crime that they are charging him for are said allegedly committed in Nigeria. That doesn't mean the Nigerian government now arrest them. So they are telling you why they did it. It is against their law. That is their citizen, no matter how or where him they located. It's in as far as a Finnish citizen, any crime he's committed, he's going to be charged according to the Finnish law, not the place where he commit the crime. If that's so be the case. So the court decision was based on primarily evidence suggesting that Ekpa acting constitute a terrorist offense under Finnish law, specifically Section 34A of the Finnish Criminal Code, which addresses incitement to commit crime with terrorist intent. The prosecutor has until May 2025 to finalize charge. See? Which the trials. So the Finnish people, so everything is starting over. The Finnish government who are carrying this arrest on the other side, they have until the end of May to finalize their charges and present it before the court. Then the new lawyer that Ekpa gets, so he said will get to work. With the trial scheduled to be for June, Ekpa legal team now led by Kale Gomeros. I hope I pronounced that right. Khaled Gomaros as a new lawyer after his previous lawyer's retirement. He's reviewing a substantial pretrial file. So they are reviewing all the files again. Gomeros has emphasizing the need for true preparation, given the case complexity and international dimension. Finnish authorities have also frozen Ekpa assets as well as those of his wife and associate company, signaling a broader investigation into his financial network. Now, when they talk about his link with the other guys from Cameroon, people think I don't know what I'm talking about. People like Kulata. But we go know everything as time goes on. This case is notable for its jurisdictional challenge. Finland has refused Nigerian extradition requests. We hope that is clear. Citing Ekpa Finnish citizenship and the principles of non-extradition of national under Finnish law. So there's nothing Nigeria can do about that. Since, as I said, they know who arrested him because of Nigeria. Yes, they are accusing him that some of the crime that he committed are carried out in Nigeria. That doesn't mean Nigeria has anything or has any ground to say me they extradite and it will happen. So, moreover, Finland legal system prioritize prosecuting crimes committed by its citizens, even if the impact is felt abroad, which is the case that he is facing today. The trials will likely hinge on whether Ekpa's social media posts constitute incitement to terrorism, a charge that requires providing intent and direct link to violent acts in Nigeria. So all these things are complicated. Now, so let's look at the key players here. Simon Ekpa, a polarizing figure. Ekpa has portrayed himself as a freedom fighter for Biafra while being labeled a terrorist by Nigerian authorities. Now we'll talk about that later on, because they just started the pronunciation 2 months ago. If you remember, that was just few days after Donald Trump met the Joint Congress and declared some of those cartel guys terrorists. So the Bola Tinubu administration felt that if they actually go that route, they might get the help and collaboration of this American government to come in. But I don't think that's going to play out. But we'll see. Why being labeled a terrorist by the Nigerian government is Finnish citizen complicating Nigerians' efforts to hold him. Yes, as a Finnish citizen, that comes first. They don't send you, no abuse, they don't arrest him because of you. So as a Finnish citizen, complicating Nigerian efforts to hold him accountable. And his detention has galvanized his supporters who view him as a political prisoner. Finnish authorities, the KRP and Pajaj Home District Court are central to the case. Investigated, Nigeria know the case, so investigating uncharted territory in prosecuting a citizen for alleged terrorist incitement abroad. That's nice crime with that. Has nothing to do with Nigeria. Finland's stand reflects its commitment to counter-terrorism while balancing free speech concern. That's where the thing they very complicated. Can you differentiate this free speech? Because he's fighting a legit cause. Because all the things where they accuse him for, he still continue even after his arrest. Before his arrest, they don't kick, they don't everything don't they stand still. Now he's been away for how many months? Nothing changed. So we'll see how they'll argue the case. Nigerian government, that's another principle. Under President Bola Tinubu, Nigeria has intensified effort to curb separatist violence with Simon Ekpa as a primary target. The designation of Ekpa as a terrorism financier and diplomatic pressure on Finland underscore Nigeria's urgency to neutralize his influence. Should I say no get influence? Oh God. Biafra supporters and IPOB Ekpa faction, distinct from Kanu, IPOB has a significant following, particularly online. His arrest has sparked protesters and misinformation campaign, with some supporters fairly claiming he is release or extradition. See? Kale Gomeros, that's the new lawyer, which spark all this rubbish with Nigerian media, they propagate. They want extradition, they want extradition. He got a new lawyer. That's what spark all this. So a new lawyer tasked with defending a high-profile case with limited precedent will play a critical role in shaping the trial outcome. Now, let's look at the broader implication. International law and jurisdiction. The case tests the boundaries of prosecuting transnational incitement to terrorism. Finland's decision to try Ekpa domestically, rather, pay attention to that though. Finland's decision to try Ekpa domestically rather than extradite him. You see, people will say they want to extradite him. There's nothing like that though. So they decided to try him locally rather than extradite Ekpa domestically. Extradite him, set a precedent for how countries handle citizens involved in foreign conflict. You see? So what I said, this Ekpa case is a case study, is going to be in law books for life, especially when it has to come to geopolitics. So this is first of its kind. So the decision of Finland to try Ekpa locally instead of extraditing him set a precedent for how countries handle citizens involved in foreign conflict. It also raises questions about the extraterritorial implication of anti-terrorism laws and the balance between free speech and incitement. So we are at a crossroad. Legally speaking, the world is on a cross section, and everybody will be keen to see how this is going to play out. Maybe how Nigerian media, they carry them as say they are in control of what is happening. They have no clue. Nigeria security challenge. Ekpa activities have exacerbated the security in Nigeria southeast, where sit at home order have people local economic and fuel clash between separatists and insecurity force. A strike will either embolden or deter separatist movement, depending on the outcome. You get one book where I go recommend at this junction, right? The Return of the Strong Gods by R.R. Lino. The book where I just started to read last night. The Return of the Strong God. When you read that book, you understand the times that we are in. And the last time the planet Earth was at this junction, we know what happened. The world never remained the same again. And I foresee that happening to this decade. Anyway, now another angle to look at is the Finnish-Nigerian relations. Why Tinubu has praised Finnish cooperation? Nigeria cooperation on what? Nigerian extradition demands highlighting underlying tension. See, if to say the thing smooth, therefore no demand now, therefore just as the catch us on Zoom. The case may influence future bilateral agreements on counterterrorism and extradition. That's it. This is not going to be the same again after Ekpa case. The whole world legal system, geopolitically, will not be the same again. That's what people don't understand. It's a new. What are they thought say? What people do not see, the success of Ekpa or what Ekpa is able to achieve or contribute to the struggle of Biafra, is he has successfully engraved the word, the meaning, the reason, the complication, the argument and disagreement around Biafra, the history, into social media algorithms. Those things were not in existence during the days of General Ojukwu. Hell no, even Nnamdi Kanu, right? We not get TikTok. There's so many technology that Ekpa was able to take advantage of that was not in play at that time. So that is the contribution. Because going forward, generation after now, they will understand Ekpa message more than that of Ojukwu or to some extent to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Because there will be more conversant with the language of the algorithm, which Ekpa was able to use. And those that came to know about the Biafran story via Ekpa who also contributed to the enrichment of that algorithm going forward. Now, on social media and terrorism, Ekpa's use of platform like X to embolden, to mobilize followers underscore the challenge of regulating online incitement. The trial may prompt stricter oversight of social media in Finland and beyond, particularly for content with global impact. Now, when Sultan came out and said social media is a terrorist organization, and I say it's too late. We have AI now. We have other sophisticated things that we hate how we get information. But moreover, because of the Cold War that America must win, they will never allow, especially the global, the China North, I mean, the Western atmosphere to which Nigeria and our colony, they will never allow the government to suppress information going forward. Because that is the only way and the easiest way to manipulate the people to their own, or on their own side. So when they say people should start celebrating the fact that the USIA is dead, quote unquote. No. The question we should be concerned about, or what should we be worried about, is what replaces him. which is the social media, and America is at the front of it. So whether they like it or not, it will continue. So that's SO. SO said, good evening, Obi. I greet you, I greet you, I greet you. The evening is indeed good. Just at the verse, say, we see they pay attention, give these stupid people attention of their misinformation. So you said that Nigeria doesn't understand the wider implication of this Mazi Simon Ekpa case. This matter is of Europe going for and against freedom of speech. You are right. That's when people they that's one of the reasons I actually pick interest in it. I'm investing so much of my resources that in trying to understand the modern day weapon, which is what language, information. And when I start looking at things from that angle, also you are totally on point. We don't understand that Ekpa case is like is like because that is because people still don't understand the cyber world, cyber economy that is upon us, that is going to be bigger than the economy that we have physically now. People don't understand. By the time they understand that, they now understand that we are at a crossroad. A lot of law, history is being written, is being rewritten. And that's why all this disinformation, misinformation. That's why when at the talk, say the last guest that appeared on Dr. Damage's show, 90 Minutes Africa, is a very consequential one. People don't understand because we are the generation. If you read Fourth Turning, you will understand that grandchildren are bound to make their grandfather or great grandfather mistakes, but and we are at the peak of making the mistakes of our great grandfather, which that's why I believe that we are still going to have another civil war. And why our own they very bad and sad is that our grandparents were blindfolded. They were taken unaware because they were not to get information is not available to them now. So during the invasion and everything, they no, they just they take them unaware. But on our own case, why it bad? We they use our koro eye. They sell ourselves out. They rewrite our history in a way that will implicate and indict us and destroy us on the long run. That's exactly what we are doing. So just like our parents could not were the latest technology then, the bastard of the latest technology, the social evolution, which comes with the gunpowder revolution, and develop high sophisticated weapon. As they build our people no, so they can't use and finish them. The same thing with AI, social media, and AI. They were all developed without us knowing, without our input. But they use us, they train them. So they go use and they destroy us too. So when they talk that the next war will not be physical, but will be autonomous, these are the things I talked about. Now, so people don't understand the implication of, as you rightly put it, so of what Ekpa case is to the international community. So Biafra movement, Ekpa detention could fragment the pro-Biafra movement with some fraction. Already is happening, aligning with Nnamdi Kanu and other radicalizing further alternative pursuit miscarriage of justice could galvanize support for Biafra cause. Yes. So we are so potential outcome. Let's look at how what could be likely the outcome going forward. Conviction. Let's say they convict Ekpa. If convicted, Ekpa could face up to 7 years in prison under Finnish law. Look in Nigeria, potentially curbing his influence and signal a hard line against transnational incitement. I don't go. Well, let's see. Make I know say that might not be the case. However, this could marry him could turn it to a martyr among supporters, fueling further unrest in Nigeria. If they free him, an acquaintance, possibly due to influential evidence linking his post to specific act of violence, could embolden Ekpa and his followers undermining Nigeria. Counter-terrorism efforts, it might also strain Finland-Nigerian relationship. Plea deal or loose charge, a compromise such as guilty plea to lesser charge could reduce Ekpa sentence while allowing Finland to avoid a protracted trials. This might de-escalate tension, but leave Nigeria dissatisfied. That one day. Extradition unlikely. Though Nigeria continue to push for extradition, Finland legal framework and Ekpa citizenship make it improbable unless new evidence or political agreement emerge, which I know it's not going to happen. So, in conclusion, brothers and sisters, June 9, Ekpa will appear in court. Not Ekpa, a lawyer. He has a new lawyer. That is what is putting this information, this propaganda. He has a new lawyer, and the new lawyer, both the Finland authorities that are on the other side, they have to prepare their new evidence, appear before court. Then let's see. Let's wait for the outcome. But him being repatriated or what is out of the question. Nobody should give that even a thought. So it's a pivotal moment in the intersection of separatism, terrorism, and international law. The case outcome will reverberate beyond Finland and Nigeria, influencing how nations address online incitement, separatist movements, and cross-border legal accountability. While Ekpa remains in custody, the legal proceedings will test Finland's judicial system, Nigeria diplomatic leverage, and the global community ability to navigate digital age challenge. For now, stakeholders await the trials with Ekpa fate and his border implication hanging in the balance. So that's where we are. There's nothing. But the question I am asking: what is the Nigerian government up to? Which did they cover up? A week ago, everybody, all the media were up in arms. Bola Tinubu is in front. See if he come, they go impeach him. Before he land, their number one agent, David Odeyi, hit the streets. Hit with the streets with confusion. Wherever I want to release it, Bola Tinubu draw. It be on less than 48 hours after that, they don't run to Samuel Ekpa. Samuel Ekpa has been extradited. How? I don't know. The news that the BBC Hausa got was from last week that Ekpa has gotten a new lawyer, and for that reason, he's approaching a court again. And the days to appear before court, the new lawyer, the new evidence, new document, new preparation is June. That's just the news there. The old lawyer retired. That's it. This was last week. That was when the news actually broke. But of course, it's like because David Odeyi no message, no really, now they bring Ekpa. So the Tinubu going to France, all the anger, him coming back, the 1 billion that was given to him by IMF, how it's being distributed. Before you know, now they're saying the governor of Delta don't join. So what am I trying to say here? There's just a boo-boo horse with noise, irrelevant things that lead nowhere. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is worse than what our forefathers experienced because they don't know. They were just being taken unaware. But this one, not just that we know, but we they use our hand to do the damage to ourselves. The world has changed. Law is being rewritten. Alliance is being formed. And the probability that this might not go well might lead to a third war is pretty much glaring before the blind. But guess what? It's just they delude us with nonsense. With nonsense. So the question I will keep putting before every one of us, what will you tell your how will you tell your story 60 years from now? If your grandchildren ask you, what were you doing in 2025 when the world is totally being redesigned, when the map of the world is being reshaped, things, literally our way of life is being changed as we speak. What you go tell them? You go say you are fetish or get carried away with propaganda that has not bearing with what is going on. You tell them about Bobrisky, VDM, uh, propaganda surrounding Ekpa just to cover out some. Like, what will you be saying? What would history record of you? Where do you day? Your activities? Which kind of conversation were you having? Because they always talk but there is no way a country of 2 million people, 200 million people, that all we talk about, all of us going to talk about the same thing at the same time, when it is not a national tragedy. Says a lot about our media. The simple layman definition of media is a nation talking to itself. So what are we talking? People always come to say, show, shout out to shoot, all it does, people they complain, they talk, talk is good. Yes, but what are we talking? Is what should we be talking about? How is the fact that Ekpa got a new lawyer almost 2 months ago, and the new lawyer is reassessing the whole situation to be presented before court 2 months from now? How does it that become a national news today, months later? But you know, we say it become a national news. All of it came twisted that Ekpa extradition has been approved by who? And the fact that people who will be engaged in this conversation claim to be educated. At a time whereby you don't have to go out of your house to go buy a newspaper, to wait in 4 o'clock to listen to news that will be diluted to you. At a time that you don't have to literally physically go to a library to do your research. But still, we have sold that cheap to social media. That is the implication of too much of information. It's no longer the information is true or not. No. It's about even if it's even real at all. That's why I played it at the beginning. I played the AI experience that we are going to be experienced in terms of information and video, how we consume them fake. I think I've been given this useless story 1 hour of my time at the verse. At the verse, because I really don't want to talk about it because and since last week, now I get new lawyer. But I was shocked when people they call me, they send me message. The one that did that, they're like, yo, chill, man. That's not my concern. My focus right now. Last Trump won't begin negotiation with China. That's more important than all this nonsense. The election is being rigged. As if it isn't that they go wait 2027 before they rig the election, you are mistaken. The election is being rigged. It is because it's rigged through the conversation we have, because the conversation we have will form our interests. Our interests will lead forward. That's we might be as storytellers. That's who we are. But if you want to understand what I'm saying, after the end of the day, before you sleep, ask yourself quietly, what have you learned today? Like one new thing, like what? Tell me new thing that you learn. You just say, okay, yeah, this thing I learned out today. Or what did you teach? You will find out that for the fact that you make noise, especially weekend from one platform to another, you find out that nothing. You did not learn anything, you never contributed anything. And the goal of the elite, the goal of the power has been achieved. Anyway, I don't try. 1 hour is too much. So make I go. George, what do I want from poor Nigeria? I know they want. Who tells the Nigerians are poor? Anyway, I get what you're saying. No, my annoyance not be the Nigerians people at least because I try as much as I can to put I'm a Nigerian too, and I can relate, but I am no, I'm not mad. But I don't know whether that's the right word to use because I wanted to say even the media because I understand that they are all being paid. They don't even know some of now those who don't know say where they don't know say they are doing the enemy's work. And that's my problem. That's where they do and korokolo collect their money. I respect them. So George, I just I don't know. I don't even know where to place my annoyance. Eh? I guess I am angry at the best for myself because now 1 hour so of my life. And I had to talk about this. And it was more than that. You know, I had to stay up all night, all night, a couple of hours to just say come. I had to start questioning myself. Sef. I get some people will call me. I start questioning myself, come, I be waiting I read last week. Now, I mean, what the heck, man? Did I read nonsense? So I had to stay the hours. I just started new book, The Return of the Strong God. The hour I was supposed to read that book, I just use that divide begin do more digging on Ekpa research and which is good. At least I'm more conversant with the broader implication. Everything is it's becoming clearer to me about the whole legal implication and all that. So that's I take, but people know the house. Like, between 48 hours, David O'Day tell una say Bola Tinubu drugs won't come out. Now go follow him. Then like if you think who these people are agents of disinformation and misinformation. I talk am before. I'm asking a genuine question. Who David O'Day they work for? Is that working from Creamland, DC, or Beijing? Because these are the three people at war with us. And to understand, talking about Congo, talking about this is where these three now the war within these three nations on Nigerian space now ideological and our mind they destroy they fight for our to come who go win our mind over. But in Congo, it's no longer ideological, it's not control mind. They are literally they are na kinetic war they go on. Bullet, people they drop dead. They go say make you use their own life. Useless people. When they think through their hands. And then they use their own life. People literally are dropping dead, they kill them by the day. Because the three nations there, their fight in Congo is beyond mind. Russia, now weapon Russia, they said security. In order for you to sell, to make profit from security, you have to cause insecurity. So that's why all the guys we took over power by gun, they are 100% behind them because they have to supply their weapon to protect themselves. There is a expose that came up from Pentagon that Traore is using the resources of the country money to protect himself. Right. Even though they put it that way, hey, that because they don't feel killing me that. Right. But now look at it from that angle. Right. So that's Russia. China a businessman. China need peace. for business to strive. And China and Russia are in a very cordial relationship. That will explode in no time. Then America says, I don't give a fuck about all this what that they do so. I mean in this shit too. We have the most sophisticated security network in the world. We will provide that. So that is the contention that is going on. Who will win? We go into agreement with Congo. Our own, maybe in the next 5 years. After this election, we would approach the kinetic war. Because I think by the time they don't finally take over our head finish, to the bomb us. Because if you look at the rhetoric now, it's becoming clear the ladies of killing and everything they come. So it will come to at a point whereby everything will explode. It don't happen before. It's happening as we speak. So it's not something that a conspiracy or anything, unless you are not a student of history. But anyway, I've given it this much time. Look, I go. I will be back later to talk about. I don't decide to talk about the follow White House and Pentagon go anywhere and go for the next 10 years. I'm following them bumper to bumper. Oh, this era, this Cold War. Nobody will tell me the story second hand. I'll be part of the story. So that if I link long enough to tell it to my grandkids, it will be direct from the horse's mouth. Nobody say then say yes. Say. Say this is how they ease tension. How do you ease tension by engaging in tense conversation? Or but I get you though. I understand. Oh man, I don't want to be that man. I don't want that kind of strategy. The truth is that Nigeria is realizing that Simeon Ekpa case is not good for the international image of Nigeria. So the Nigerian media is used to partly. That's a good. I like this. Partly false narrative is so shameful. You're right. They don't pay them now. They've been all of them want they won't belong to the global Bob Marley call it the rat race, right? They all race to the bottom. Doesn't matter what goes. So it's sad. It's sad that at this I can't believe in 2025 we are not part of the conversation of the changing world. Nigeria as a whole. The conversation that is shaping the world is at the peak, and Nigeria is nowhere to be found. And some people will call the boo boo also. Yeah, if this person become president, things go change. How the fuck is that gonna happen? Change how? Where? I never see where no guy they renovating house. You go say, all in staff have they renovate their house. It doesn't work like that. It's sad that the fears of Kwame Nkrumah of 1963 is playing out. And it's not that it's playing out. Now we be the actors. They just give us script. And we are competing to act it, to be the best actor. That's the hope. That's what the whole presidential race is about. Who is going to be the best manager of outsiders' resources? Who will manage the resources for outsiders? The strong man, the strong God. In 2025. In 2025. George, just ask yourself, what were the conversation that the Nigerian people were having before 1914, when it become apparent that they are going to surrender their sovereignty to a stranger? Or what was the conversation that Nigerians were having before 1960, when it's also become obvious that we cannot form our own government, that they had to literally form it for us? And not, I mean, what were the conversation? And what are the conversation we are having today, knowing that there's a possibility that we are going to lose this colony, that America might lose the colony to the Chinese or to the Russians? This is the conversation we are having. It is bad enough that we are accusing our forefathers that they no write history, they no write them down, even though that is not true. But what about us? What will they write? Are we writing? Are we representing the accurate of what is happening to us? Example: when 10 people are killed, it is 10 people are killed. Say it the way it is. Not say 10 people are not alive. You are not helping your story. You are not helping your history. You are not giving the accurate representative of what is happening before your own very eye. That they tell you, make you not talk waiting happen. Now that is the danger of speaking another man's language. Because if they can't kill your people for village and you are forced to speak your language, how you go take talk and say unalive? Because we say our parents no right. That is because now writing now be the most sophisticated technology of those days. Today, no be writing. Just as I speak to you, what are you putting out? Tweet Seth Golden, right? One of my favorite author, a marketing guru. I think it's also in line with Naval, an angel investor. I say one thing I took away from them. Say every day, make sure you do one of these three things. You either write, you tweet, you blog, or you vlog. Every day. These are luxury. If you just look back in the Nigerian space 50 years ago, if you go back, these are luxury that only available to the royals. What is the logic and the wisdom beyond you that? Write what you are experiencing, write what it is today. Just like you write 61 people were killed in Benue. You know why? Tomorrow, when somebody is doing a research, that thing will appear exactly how it is. If you go use 60 people were unalive, how the fuck is that even going to happen? So then you become argument. Now, lie, people know that during in 2025, they don't kill anybody. How many people then kill? Google. Now only 16 people then kill for Oromi. Now it happened that month. No. But and that person will be right, because if you go do your research, you only find 16 people killed, because you decide to use the word unalive for the remaining 61 people, and that is not going to pop up. Another phrase again, now they invest on a T-pen. You won't give Paula Tinubu credit. You are literally writing the story of the play they use T-pen. Who knows? What the fuck is even that? But again, that is the manipulation of the mind that Wilson talked about, the miseducation of the black Negro. So every day you wake up, if you know if you make video, if you know if you blog, tweet, all these things are available to you. Just because that's history. That's history. Most of the books that we read today are collection of people's essay. The Bible is a clinical example. The Bible is a collection of books from centuries of different people. So in the days of information age, the only way, the only thing you can do to help the next generation is literally go out there every 5 minutes of every day. Write today. Just write something from your own view. Just put it out there. From your understanding. Don't write what people don't let people tell your story. Tell your story. That's the implication of all these things. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we'll come back again later. So the Ekpa, that Simon Ekpa is being extradited, the data has been fake, is a fake news. Not going to happen, with a bigger implication than what is going on than that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, like, share, and subscribe. George, appreciate you. And shout out to you. See you guys.